Hey guys, so the things I'm going to be talking about today in this video, I understand it may not apply in all cultures. There are different practices for cultures, for couples in different cultures. So if it does not apply to your culture, please disregard. For all others, please listen up. Let's get started, and I hope you enjoy it. Bye. Hey guys, welcome to Big Sister. Hope you all are doing well today. How are you guys? How's your day going? How's your week going? I've been doing so many things, guys, and I am just trying to get caught up. I have so many things to do, and I'm making so many crucial decisions at this point in my life, and we'll see. So guys, I remember I told you all that I was going to do a video on why you should not let a man move in with you, why you shouldn't do that. And I believe that it can affect the dynamics of a relationship. Now, you may have different experiences. Some of you, you've done it, you've had experiences with it, and it turned out just fine. But a few things happens, and remember, this is just my opinion only, okay? My opinion does not make it truth. My opinion does not make it reality, but based on experiences, based on things that I have seen, I can tell you that, and things that I have witnessed for myself, it's just not a good idea. At first, it will appear and it will seem like it's a good idea because you think, hey, this man really wants to be with me. They want to be committed. They would not want to live with me or be with me if they didn't truly love me. And while that may be the case, I think it is just really, really, really important that a man has his own things, especially if he does not have his own place. You know, there are people that he has his own place, you have yours, and then they may want to come together and say, let's just pool our resources together. But the reality is that men should be able to take care of themselves. Men should be in a position that they're in a position that if they wanted to, they can take care of not only themselves, but any woman that they want to be in a relationship with. It should not be that he is struggling and he can't pay his bills, and he can't handle things, so it's better to move in with you. Guys, it should be where he already has his stuff together. He already has his finances in order. And then if he's looking for a partner, someone else, then he's able to do that. But it's not because he needs your money. And we're talking about men that they don't have their own place. They want to live with you. And I'm not knocking people. There are men who may live with their parents. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. That man is working. That man is saving his money. He has a goal that, okay, at this point, I'll get my home. I'll do whatever I need to do. There's people who they do live with their families. I know that in America, that's not really a thing. Americans, for the most part, not all, I will say not all, but they would put their child out of the house at 18, 19 years old. And this child is still trying to, they reach the age of adulthood according to America. In the United States of America, you are legally an adult at age 18, but that person is just still finding their way. So they may put their children out at a young age, and the child is working odd jobs and all these different things trying to make it because they're still young, inexperienced. They may still be going to school. They have student loans or they're paying back student loans. It's very difficult. So the parents may put them out, okay? But I feel like there's nothing wrong with, you have a child that's working, doing what they need to do. There's nothing wrong with it. They want to live in their parents' house. But sometimes people want to move out of their parents' house. Some parents want their children out because they're get out my house. And then there are others, they're eager to get out because they don't want to follow rules. They want to have their own thing, do what they want to do. And if that works for you, that's fine. But there's also nothing wrong with whether you're a male or a female, you're living with your parents, you have a job, you're saving some money, you're setting things aside, and your mom and dad would allow you to stay there. No problems, provided that you're not trying to overstep your boundaries, because that can happen, right? You're living with your parents and now you're an adult and now there are these clashings going on. If that's the case, then it is best for you to have your own place. But if child and parents can come together and live together and there are no issues, why not? So if a man is living with his parents, but if he's working and he has his money set aside and he has his goals set, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, male or female. All right, so I've gone on that for a while. But you have another demographic who they really have a hard time surviving on their own. They cannot keep a stable job, or they have to live with somebody. They cannot be alone. Most times when this guy is moving in with you, you're going to find that it's for convenience. This may not apply for all men, but most men who are working and doing their own and have their own goals and things that they want to do, men are supposed to have a sense of who they are, working on themselves, being providers first to themselves, giving themselves the basic needs of shelter, clothing, and food, being able to take care of himself. Okay? But when you have a man who's not able to do that, move in with you, you're already taking care of the bills, the heavy bills, you're carrying the heavy, you're doing the heavy lifting, and then he'll come in and maybe be a warm body in the bed. He will fix things around the place. He will maybe pay the small bills, but in reality, it's supposed to be the other way. You will feel it's interesting because sometimes these men will come in and then they will say, well, what would you do if I wasn't here? Well, I will probably be using less electricity, less water. There'll be more food here. So let's do a social experiment of that one. Let's see what it would be like if you weren't here. You can go. But then there are some women who feel very lonely and they will allow themselves to be taken advantage of and let the man stay there. And then what will happen is, because here's the biggest thing, because it is your home, it's your apartment, it's your condo, it's your house, men in general, whether they will speak on it or not, they're just there's just a specific way that a man is built, how they are, how they think, and just how men are wired. And men are, they sometimes will start to feel a certain way if it feels as if he is out of his element or you're the one that's running everything. He's going to perceive a lot of things like that because it's your house, it's your space. You're going to be used to moving around, doing things how you normally do it. He has his own way of doing things, and sometimes they will feel inferior. They will feel some complex towards just your normal way of doing things. But because he knows that he's not able to really provide, he's not really paying any bills, major bills, or he does not make as much money as you do, sometimes there will be a power struggle, a power dynamic. So even things that you're just doing naturally, you're not trying to disrespect him. He's going to see it as disrespect. He's going to see it as you're trying to tell him what to do because he is already out of position as a man. He is living with you. He is in your house. Everything is mostly yours. He may have some things there. He's not moving in major things. And if he does, it's still, this roof belongs to you. And that can cause that man to feel inferior. And when he feels inferior to you, he's going to show you, he's going to exercise his himself in a way where he is superior in strength. Okay. He may be superior in just other ways, and he's going to try to show that. Okay. If he's not paying bills, that's not his car, or whatever the case may be. That man is going to exert himself by either, depending on the type of man he is, by being abusive to you, by being insulting to you. He will exert himself by being superior in how he speaks to you. He may try to even reject you, not protect you. You get around other people, or people come over, he's trying to ridicule you, embarrass you. There will be this passive aggressive way that he will behave because he feels inferior. And some women do behave in a certain way as if that man is their child because it is their house. They may remind him that it's their house and don't give him a say in anything. And that's the dynamics. That's what happens when you go to live with somebody, because it's her place. You just happen to have some of your things there. Okay. Unless you are there and you're just paying major bills and she doesn't have to pay anything but her cell phone, this woman is going to just she's going to just continue to be as she is. I am still providing. You just live here. I am still taking care of things. You just live here. You have a couple, you put your things in my refrigerator. You understand? These are the items you use for hygiene, but they're in my bathroom. This is your car, but it's in my garage. Or not. Maybe you don't have a car. Maybe the scooter. Maybe whatever it may be, guys. A few things will happen when you live together, when a man is living with you, because he's still a man. Men have to feel good about themselves, whether they will say that or not. Men have to feel that they own some things and they have accomplished some things, whether they will say these things or not. It is deeply ingrained in them. So even if you're handing him your card for him to pay for things, or you allow him to redecorate things, there's something that's deeply ingrained in men, that they must have their own. They are competitors. They are conquerors. They should be protectors and providers. And they can say, this is what I've accomplished. This is what I've done. But men that really don't have much, they're going to up their sex game. Okay. And because that's what they're good at, they're also going to become connoisseurs in the art of deception and lying and manipulation. They may have more than one woman to make themselves feel better. And they can also become verbally, emotionally, or even physically abusive to you, because that's one area that you do not surpass him and cannot. There are success stories of people who live together, everything's great, all this stuff is going on. Okay. But more often than not, there are horror stories, because the minute he just comes to live with you, I believe that your value goes down a bit. I always say this to my daughter. If you go to a Walmart, or you go to a Kroger's, or you go to a HEB, or whatever your local market is, but I will think of, let's say Walmart, because in Walmart you can get lots of things for cheap, or you go to I don't know, just think of a store that you can go to and get stuff really cheap. If I go to Walmart and you go to the section where they sell those cheaper meats, sandwich meats, it's cheap, but they're delicious. You cannot buy a 99 cents pack of bar S bologna. You can't take that out the store without paying for it, can you? And I know that's not the healthiest deli meat to get, but let's think of bar S bologna. You have to go in there And you cannot walk out that door till you have paid those 99 cents or whatever it may be right now for that. But a man can live with you for free. He doesn't have to put a ring on it. He could just come and stay with you. Your value goes down. He gets too familiar. You get too familiar with him. It may even be the other way around. He's a good guy, but you just get too familiar with one another. And there's just something that happens in the psyche of women, no matter how they may feel and say, it's okay. You may be genuine. It's no problem with you living here. There's something in the elements, that dynamic, there's an imbalance immediately, because no matter what is going on, you know this place is yours. No matter what is going on, if things really get out of control, you know that you're the one that can say you need to leave. So that's the ultimate power that you have. Whether you use that power or not, you have it. In my opinion, a man must be able to provide for himself. If he's not where he needs to be, then you let him be that. You should not be the one that's giving him somewhere to live and doing all these different things, because he may be at his lowest at that point. And he's trying to get himself together and he's doing all these different things, and you're the one that's helping him. But once he comes to himself and once he begins to gain more financially and get to the place he wants to be, a lot of times he's not going to want to be with you because you're the one that's seen him at his lowest. So he may not want that. Some will stay, but some no. I want someone who they don't have the backstory. They can't talk about when I was not able to afford to get a haircut or something like that, you know? I think living together, you allow that man to live with you. He becomes too familiar with you. You're right there. He's going to lose interest in you. And again, I strongly believe that there is always a need for them to own things and to have things. Another thing that can happen, let's say there are men who are absolutely comfortable. They'll come and they'll stay with you. It doesn't matter. You go and work. You go do what you need to. I'll stay home. I'll fix the food. I'll cook. I'll do this. But I believe that at some point, you being the working girl or being the woman that's working and providing, it's going to get old and you're going to lose respect for him. You begin to treat him like a child. When you're out there working as a woman and doing your own thing, and you see men who are there and they're taking charge and they're dressed for success and doing this thing, doing their thing, and you come home to the man that's just at home with the children, if you have children, or in this case, we're saying you don't have children. He's just laying back. Oh, how did it go? It's going to happen. It is going to happen. Okay? Unless he's just retired. If he's worked and he's retired and he can be home, that's different. He's paid his dues. He's done his thing. You know, he's sitting home collecting his pension and his 401. This is a different type of man. But someone who just does not have their own and they need to live with you because they don't have a place to stay, no. No matter how nice he is, no matter how handsome he is, no matter how charismatic he has to get himself together. Do not open your doors and allow him to live with you, because there is going to be issues, power dynamics. He can become complacent. You can lose respect for him. There's some men, they will call them mama's boys or whatever. And let me be clear, I do not think anything is wrong with a man who loves his mom and who respects his mother and he considers his mother. You know, there are some women out there who they don't have good relationships with their family. So if a man loves and respects and considers his mother, they'll call him a mama's boy. That's not a mama's boy. That is a gentleman. You understand? Now they will call people mama's boy is a different type of person that he cannot make any decisions on his own. His mother's going to tell him what to do. His mother's going to tell him what to say. His mother will decide what's going to happen in your relationship. Well, yes, he has a deep attachment to his mother, and this is a different type. This is the one that I'm talking about, the type of person that his mother has sheltered him so much. She takes care of everything. She handles all the bills. She provides everything. She coddles him. And so he is stunted in his growth, and he just wants to live with you, and you can be his mama, but with a little bit more access that he wouldn't have to his actual mother. You understand? So this type of man, he will not be able to protect, provide. He won't be able to do any of these things. But ironically, there are some women who like that. They like that. They want to be in charge. They want to boss that man around. And they actually stay together, and they're just toxic together forever because he has no ambition. He lets her do whatever. He's absolutely content with that. And then she disrespects him and bosses him around and tells him what to do and tells him when to go to bed. And they are living happily ever after. Okay. But then there are other women who believe that they can change that guy. I can change him. No, you can't. He's been that way forever. Now you bring him in your house, and now you're trying to shake him, teach him. You want to shake him up to be a man. You got me this way. You picked him that way. You're not going to be able to change him. So that might be a problem in the end. That man should have his own place. If he's living at home, that's not an issue. He's working. He's providing for himself. That man is spending and he is saving his money. There are some women that they will make some men feel bad about that. I'll do a video about that because the man is working. He's going to work. He has his own transportation. He goes home to his mom. Well, some women do not like to his parents. Some women don't like that because when they're at their parents, they don't have the freedom to act up. They don't have the freedom to do the things that they want to do, run around naked in the apartment or things like that. There's an element of control that is not there that they will have if they're in their own place, okay? But that man has a plan, or that young lady has a plan. There's nothing wrong with it. That's my opinion. So to close up this video, I will say, contrary to popular belief, contrary to the new generation today that's asking you, what do you bring to the table? And talk about 50-50 and all these different things. Men of old, men of like our fathers and those before them, they are providers. Men in other countries, okay, they are about working and providing and being the head of the household and taking care of their families. In America, there's a lot more leeway and a lot of different ways things can be. But in my opinion, a man should be able to provide for himself. A man should maintain his own home and his own space. He must still be building and trying to expand his territory or do whatever he wants to do in whatever way, or maintaining it and having something that is his. And then at some point later on, if he is ready, then he looks for a mate. He looks for who he wants to be with, and he's not looking at her to give him some money. He should be so financially secure that he's not even thinking about her money, okay? That is my opinion, how it should be. I'm not saying that the woman cannot do, but it should be something that she should choose to do, and not because he absolutely needs it, okay, and wants it. And then now you're there trying to figure out, looking at the receipts of who bought what, and then, oh, you owe me 50 cents, you went 5 cents over, or no. No, thank you. Keep your value. Ladies, your value can go up where you maintain your own space. He maintains his own space, full access to you all the time, and y'all are not married. That man could get bored. And he goes out there and he's seeing new things. You're already conquered. He knows what you're going to look like. He knows what you wear to bed. He knows what you do in the morning. He knows everything. It's going to be boring at some point. And it can end. And then now you're trying to get this person out of your place and you can't because he has squatters' rights and all these different things. And then next thing you know, it goes to court. And now you have a schedule of who can use the living room and the kitchen at what time. This can really happen. So that is why I don't believe a man should move in with a woman. He needs to have his own things. And it's possible to work towards it. You know, a lot of times people, they're trying to get big things early. No, maybe right now with your job, maybe all you can afford is a studio. Maybe all you can afford is a room, to rent a room in a bigger house. And then you continue to build towards that. That man, while it may be hard work or, you know, it's the bare minimum right now as he is working towards his goal, he's gonna feel good that this is my room, this is my stuff, this is my mini fridge. And then he works to that he gets a bigger refrigerator. And now he works where he's not in a room. Maybe he can go and get himself a small place. It may not be everything he wants, but it's his. And you see, if a man could say, this is mine, he will work towards seeing what else he can get and what else he can achieve. And I think that this is a very, very important element, a very important part of what it is to be a man, versus moving in with a woman and then attaching to her teats, okay, for provision. And he will always struggle with certain things. And he will, I'm telling you, there are going to be moments where he's going to feel offended about things that you're really not you're not even meaning it. But because of how he is wired as a man, and because the dynamics are so skewed right now, and he's not in his position that he should be, he will always be bothered. Now, I understand there'll be some of you that's going to tell me about your success stories and say this is not necessarily true. La 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 la. That's fine. I'm not saying that there are not people where things are not going great and everything did not turn out perfectly, but I'm going to tell you that was the exception, not the rule. All right, guys, talk soon.